The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Rapid Sales Accelerator. If you're ready to skyrocket your sales by 30% or more in just 90 days, then you need to claim your free training right now. You'll learn 4 words that will compel your prospects to trust you like they were children within the first 3 to 5 minutes of any conversation across any platform and any medium. You'll learn how to give your prospects objection amnesia, to crush objections like, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need more time to think it over, or it's too expensive. If you'd like to claim your free training now, go to www.paulrossbook.com. Do it before your competition does it now. Welcome to the Influencer's Edge. This is the place where you come to get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques to leapfrog over the pack in sales, persuasion, and influence. Be sure you visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com. And while you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, tune in, and enjoy today's episode. All right, welcome back to the Influencer's Edge. This is a show that colors outside the lines, disconnects the dots, and thinks outside the box. And today we have a very special guest. I'm going to see if I can pronounce his name without mangling it. Mbo'a, Pascal. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Aha! See, the old man's got his thinking and pronunciation correct. Even though I'm operating on 5 hours of sleep, my kitty cat is my alarm clock. She wakes me up at 5:30 a.m., howling for her breakfast. She's a little fatty. So let's go into it. You are a visionary leadership coach. What do you mean by the word visionary? That word is thrown around a lot. So as I've warned you, I often get into what's in the bio and I ask questions of guests that they're not expecting. So how do you, Mbo'a, define visionary?
Thinking forward, saying things that you may not see at the moment we're talking about, right? So it's funny how I got into visionary leadership coaching because it's the lack of vision that actually got me there. So a couple down years down the road, I'm in Dubai. I landed in Dubai from Ukraine after spending, I mean, almost 4 years in Ukraine. So I landed in Dubai and I got a job. And there's this thing that I described in one of the books that I wrote so many years ago, calling the Black Pit. So I'm trying here to help um, Black African people to get out of the mindset of the suffering. What do I mean by suffering is that we have a phenomenon in Africa that just, you know, forces every single person who start making money to look back and try to solve all the misery that we have seen in the past.
Yes.
So that automatically disqualifies us for the future. All right. Because all the resources we are getting right now, we are using that to solve all the misery in the past, and we are not thinking forward. So if anything happens in the future, we will not be ready. But
Ah,
we have the money, we have the resources to act accordingly to whatever is going to come in the future. So, couple of years looking at my personal journey, I realized, man, you might have the energy, you might have the money, you might have all the resources that you need, but if you don't have a clear vision, what I call a clear mental picture of your preferred future, you're doomed to fail.
I get you. And to do that in a culture where there is a lot of suffering, it's one thing to do it in a culture where there's relative, I don't want to say wealth, but relative amounts of money to meet the basic needs of life. But to do it in a culture where people are truly struggling just to eat is really a heroic task. So I salute you for being a hero in that sense. What you're doing is heroic. So it's very beautiful. A
Thank you.
visionary leadership coach and DISC index trainer. Can you explain unpack what DISC is?
Oh, this is just, is one of those personality tests, but it is more than just a personality test. I've been using this now for 7 years. I've been introduced to this by one of the greatest coach in America at the moment. Um, and when I dove into this, I was amazed. I was like, whoa, something that can read my personality, but something that can also go deeper than that, because this it helps you to understand the character, the habits, the set of behavior you have been laying on for 6 months, for the past 6 months, for the past 3 years, for the past depending on when is the last time you actually evaluated your behavior. So it is just a quick assessment that takes like less than 10 minutes. You take the disc and then you have a report of 22 pages long, where you can see how you as an individual you approach problem, you as an individual you create relationship, you as an individual you pace work, and how you respect rules and regulation. And all combined, put together helps you to understand the human being you are at that moment.
What do the letters stand for? DI, what's the acronym? What does it stand for?
So you have the disc is for the people who are forceful, okay, and then you are the I is for influences, okay. So the D doesn't really make sense because it's mostly for problems, and then I is for influences, and then you have the S, which is mostly for people who pace, how you pace for the pace things in your environment, and then the C is just for regulations.
Okay. Yeah. One of the things I like to do is hit a pause button and do a little pushback. That's if you've seen or watched episodes, you know this is something I can do. I do. There are many different models out there for personality. There's DISC and et cetera, et cetera. So what led you to pick this one? There are many of them, and some of them were created by, I think there's one, I don't remember which one it is. It was created by two ladies just making it, pulling it out of their asses around a kitchen table who had no qualifications whatsoever. I don't even remember what that one is. What made you choose disc over all of them? There's so many different models.
Uh,
Even Scientology, uh, nothing against them. Don't sue me, please. Has a personality test that people take. So, what made you pick that one?
I think two things. The first thing is that it's simple and easy. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen different personalities. Do you have personalities that takes like, I don't know, 100 pages where they are
Right.
describing 100 different things, right? You have to know force one, force two, till force 100. I'm like, who has the time to do that? People are
Oh,
busy having work and having life. So this first of all is simple. Like if you just take the four letters, you have dominance, you have influence, steadiness, and then you have consciousness, right? So I want to know if I'm dominant and how dominant I am when it comes to solving a problem. I want to
oh,
know.
wait a minute. That's brilliant. Pause. Pause, 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 pause. How dominant you are in solving a problem. This is triggering my curiosity. I warned you that that would happen because dominance, I think, is context related. If I'm very dominant in social situations, I tend to be the leader. However, if a cop pulls me over, I'm going to be submissive. I'm not going to try to dominate them. And with some personal relationships, the woman is dominated, not for long, but she has, and
Yeah, yeah.
there's a power dynamic. So I really like this. You're unpacking it with specificity. You're saying it's dominant in the work situation. How does that show up? There's a distinction between someone who's a dictator in a work situation and someone who dominates but has respect for other people. Do you understand that? Of course, you understand the distinction. So when you say dominant, that just means leadership, or what does it mean? It's important to me. I really do want to know.
It means leadership, right? It means leadership at multiple levels. Now, is exactly what you say. Depending on the situation, depending on the circumstances you find yourself in, you may not be as dominant as in one situation and another situation. You have different level when we're talking about dominance. You have, for example, I could be dominant, forceful, right?
Ah,
That is one level of dominance we're talking about. Or I could be dominant, not forceful, but demanding. That is a different level. So in the dominance spectrum, you have so many different levels, and the game here is just to find out in this situation how dominant are you, and do you need to be that much dominant in this situation, in this specific situation, or if we could call it this specific arena. If yes, okay, good. If no, how can you adjust it, right?
I get it. I get it. And now I'm seeing the connection between forming a vision. Because if you're out of alignment with, for example, being dominant, if you need to shift that in order to build a vision, that's extremely important. I'm connecting the dots here, even though I'm on 5 hours sleep, thanks to Kitty. All right, let's keep going. You're dedicated to helping leaders and teams strengthen communication, love it, build deeper connections, love that, and drive meaningful transformation. Your work focuses on empowering individuals and teams to achieve full potential through self-awareness, effective communication, love that, and strategic leadership. Products and services offered, DISC assessment, tailored assessment to help individuals and teams understand their communication styles and to improve collaboration. Something that's coming up for me now as I look at the word teams and collaboration, at least in Western culture, we talk a lot about teams and collaborating, but there's still a culture that says, hey, it was me who achieved this. The team just really helped. Whereas I've dated a couple of people from Sweden. In Sweden, no one takes individual credit for what they do. It's all teamwork. In fact, the idea that you're better than anybody else, you're cut down. That's called the Yanta law or tall poppy syndrome. Don't stick out above everybody else or you get your head chopped. So, have you ever found in different cultures this idea of collaboration is easier to get across than in other cultures? Is
Yeah,
my question unclear or am I?
no, no, is a clear question. So yeah, definitely. Um, in Europe, for example, um, because I lived in Dubai for 10 years, so I had this privilege to really mingle with a lot of people coming from different, racial background.
Yeah.
And I think people who come from Africa and India, because I think they have a little bit more struggles to define who they are and to affirm themselves as an individual, a powerful individual. They kind of struggle a little bit more with that than European who are more based on community and helping each other and wealth built by grandparent, grand. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
it is.
and I think that's certainly true in the Nordic countries. You'll find that in Sweden, Denmark, Norway. Finland is a Nordic country. Yeah, I get you.
So yeah, is something that is real different because I think those people in Africa and India, they really want to affirm themselves, right? They really want to affirm themselves because probably they have been living so long where they were not seen. So when they have that platform where there is a possibility to be seen and affirmed, then it is difficult for them to let it go
Yes,
contrary to the people who in the northern part of the earth who came up together. I mean, they usually come up together. It's easy for them to build community. It's easy for them to be together.
yes,
They don't really attach that much
yeah.
value.
So this brings up the question, Mboa. How do you take someone, for example, from India and from Africa, who is so interested in defining themselves through their individual achievements? How do you take them and shift them so they understand the collaborative mindset? This is obviously part of the transformation. I can see that this, when you say transformation, that's probably an important one. So, do you have a few methods to do that, or how do you do that? That seems to me to be a really big challenge.
Well, the first thing that we do is we pinpoint the most important thing for them. And it is so easy that most of them don't want to be recognized, they want to be acknowledged, they want to build something not just for themselves, but they want the third generation after them to come in and say,
Yes.
hey, grandpa did this, right?
Yes.
So all we have to do is just to shift that narrative to the point where you say, listen, you may think that you're doing all this thing and pursuing all this thing just for you, but the reality is that you can be as much as acknowledged in this figure as much as this one. Because guess what? If you're building this and then what you're building lasts for the third generation,
Yes.
your name doesn't just end with you,
That's beautiful. You're
which is
really
what,
helping people. Again, this is waking me up and stimulating my mind. What you're really doing, from my perspective, and if this doesn't land for you, you tell me. You push back.
okay,
You're
okay.
helping people to build a legacy, not just individual achievement, but a legacy. That's the kind of transformation you're doing. Taking someone who's maybe individually focused and saying, let's help you build a legacy through doing teamwork.
That's what it's about. That's what vision is about. So here's a funny example that I usually take. I say, if my dad if my dad leave, gave me um, a clear idea of where we were going as a family, as a group, I would have struggled a little bit less in my life.
Oh, that's
Do you,
beautiful. What a
right?
question.
So, do you agree that if you look, when you look at the people who have family trees where the business was passed into this guy and then the guy passed into this guy is not like they are not going through hardship, but their hardship is a little bit less than someone who has no clue what he's going to do in life.
Yes.
And you just have to figure it out on your own.
Yes.
So, here, the idea with vision is listen, you have struggled that much, all right, to get where you are. And unless you're gonna leave without having kids and grandchildren, you don't want those people to go through the same thing. And it doesn't matter because some people say, well, you know what, I have figured it out on my own, then they have to figure it out. I'm like, no, this is not what life is about. Like a great human being thinks about the people who are coming after.
Yes.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have anything. We wouldn't have the light. We wouldn't have internet. We wouldn't have the bank system because those people will figure out the thing. They are not anymore alive. They're already gone. But we are enjoying those privileges, right? So that's the same thing we want to do.
I'm sorry, you'll see a blurry tail here.
I
Uh,
I can see I can
yeah,
see
well,
Booba. You call it Booba?
she, the, her name is Lalele. It's Hawaiian for dandelion flower, but I call her
Okay.
Booba. Booba means doll, like a kid's play
Oh,
doll in Hebrew.
yeah.
So I call her Booba, fart face, shithead. Right now she's begging for attention, so she's in my lap. I'm
No,
sorry for the
no,
distraction, ladies and
that's
gentlemen.
okay.
When you're a dad, you're a dad. Uh, so let's go on-one and group coaching sessions to help leaders enhance their influence, decision making, and relationship building skills. Beautiful. Workshops and training, customized workshops, podcast guesting as you're doing here and doing a great job. So,
Thank you.
well, you are. So let's talk about this. How can leaders effectively communicate and share their company's vision to inspire teams? How can they do that? And I want to add another layer in. How can they do that again in a way that's gentle enough that it lands with people so they don't push back and say, no, I don't want to do that, but strong enough so people get it and say, yeah, I want to follow you.
Uh, fir- First thing first, they have to let people in the vision. Okay. People have to, we have people. I explain this better because I have been in a place where I work for companies for so many years, and now being a place where I work for myself. So I understand the difference between the two. If you get people with a mindset of I'm your boss and you are here because at the end of the month I'm paying you a
Yeah.
salary,
Yeah.
they will only work according to the salary they've been paid for.
True.
Okay.
True.
If you change the platform and you say we are working here for this goal, this specific goal, and you are here because you have as much as talent and knowledge and capability to bring this to life. Now you have just switched their mind from I only work for a salary, so when it is 5:30, I have to go home
Right.
to oh no, I want to be part of something bigger than
Yes.
myself.
Yes, and I can see in order to get that, the leader really does have to know the vision and the legacy that the company is going to leave. So I can see now I'm making the connection between if you're going to create that kind of culture, you and enroll people, you better know what the vision is. And I can see now how you're helping people to do that. So you're taking leaders, you're making them transformational leaders, and the distinction between a leader and a transformational leader is a transformational leader knows their vision. And what you're also doing is taking people from a culture who are only focused on their own individual achievement and showing them how being collaborative is going to be able to make them that leader that makes their legacy come forth. This is some complex work you're doing, but you're doing it with grace and ease. So
Thank you, thank you,
thank you.
thank you.
Am I hitting it? Am I getting the points correctly?
Yeah, that's right.
Mom raised smart Jewish kids.
That's it.
um, ooh, okay. So share a brief personal business anecdote or story that might interest the audience. I bet you have too many. You have so many
uh,
going on for a day, and we don't have that much time.
I love sharing this one particularly in Dubai. I'm calling. I coach someone who is a who was a CEO, and he changed companies. Like he went in another company, built, defined other co-creator, then they built another company, and for 6 months now from the moment they built the company, 6 months of functioning, nothing is going on because what they did was to hire people with an well, like an impressive background. It's like, yeah, this guy is the best on the market. Let's take him on. So they built a team. I don't know if you watch football, but it was like Real Madrid when they had Cristiano Ronaldo and Ronaldo Zidane, all like
I do
a
not, but I
good
get the point.
oh
I
that
don't watch football, but that's fine. I'm getting your point. I watch
so
women's Thai boxing. I like women Thai boxing. I'm weird, but keep going. I get
So
the point.
let's say they build a superstar team, all-star team, okay, with great individuals. Like if you put them apart, they are the best that you can actually have on the market
Right,
in their position. But the relationship part, the cooperation part, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because of the ego, because of the lack of
right.
self-awareness, because of the blur vision. So when I got called in by someone who already worked with me, it's like, you know what? We have this project, this is the vision, and we're just struggling here. Like we are not moving forward. How can you help? So the first thing first is that I always start with a risk assessment. Like I want people to know exactly what are the set of habits. We call it a key that they are using right now in the situation. Cool. And then of course, most of them, because they are leaders, they are very high in dominance. So what happens with people if you put people who are all high in dominance in the same room is that everyone's trying to put his ego first. So he's like, no, this is my decision. No, this is my idea. No, my idea is better. My idea is better. So you have to tell them that, listen, your idea is not that your idea is better. As a high dominant, if you're forceful or demanding, Your ideas is not always better, but you will fight for that idea to be the best. That's the first thing that you have to understand. And now that all of you are high dominant, the probability of you fighting for whose idea is better is 100%. So let's drop that first, okay? Let's drop that. We are about this project, and here's your power, here's your weaknesses, here's your strengths, and I start just to unveil those things to them. And I say, here's your another thing we did is this is your area. You remember earlier in our conversation, you were saying, oh, how do you make the difference if I'm dominant at work than if in the life space, and then there are some areas where I may not be that much dominant. I would choose to be submissive. So I lay that out for them. It's like, listen, this is not your area. When it comes to building relationship, you're not that good. So you can do a good
Wait,
job.
wait, 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 wait. How do they respond to hearing that blunt
So
honesty? How do you? I mean, I would think the more dominant, even tyrannical a leader is, the less he's going to want to hear, "You're not that good."
yeah.
But I think you need to really hit him between the eyes to get it across. Good for you, man.
So
You've got some, as we say in Yiddish, you've got some chutzpah, some daring, some balls on you.
no, but the thing is that because I've been doing this for 7 years, I've learned some practices. Some of those things I take them one on one, even though we're gonna go in a group. I take them one on one. I have like a 15, 25 minute debrief with them
Smart.
personally. So I tell them exactly what I want to tell them. If they want to push back, they push back, but we find a consensus before we get out of the room and then get the
Good.
rest of the people.
Smart. You better. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm totally getting this. The other thing that's coming up for me is I think it was my mom or someone once said to me, the best way to convince someone to do something is let them think it's their own idea. And so to do that, you have to be subtle. You can't be forceful and really dominant. You have to be subtle and get them to think it's their own idea. So I think I just speaking to you, you're a very brilliant man, and that means you're flexible. You probably know when to give it straight between the eyes and when to be subtle with it.
Oh, Paul, this is the beauty of the disc. Just now you were asking me why the disc and not other tools. This is the beauty of the disc. Like you're talking about selling, letting people know that this is their idea. It works, but it doesn't work for all the profile. So if I'm dealing with the D personality, which is dominance, high dominant, that's what they want to know. They want to know that the idea is coming from them. So when I'm having that conversation with them, I just present it in a way that, well, you own the idea. What I'm doing here is just exposing it to the way that you can say it to a different angle, right?
Oh my God, you must be great with the ladies. I mean, you know how to. I can see this is great psychology. I used to be a dating and seduction coach. I don't know if you know that. It's an open secret on the show. I'm also
Oh,
Ross Jeffries, the seduction guy. I don't know if you knew that. And I could see how this would be useful hey, if you think I'm sexist, stop subscribing to the show. I don't give a fuck. It's my show. But you really have got this figured out. I have a question for you. People,
yeah.
and this is probably one you've never heard before. People often say, "How did you get into this? How long have you been doing this?" What's more interesting to me is what keeps you passionate about it. After all these years of doing it, you seem to be even more passionate. I don't know what you were like when you first started. What's kept you passionate about something you've been doing so long?
My superpower. My superpower. So there's another tool that I use, but this is not really something that I use on a daily basis. Um, that helps me to understand. My number one superpower is to motivate people. Is to
Yeah,
lift
yeah,
up
I get
people.
it.
That's my superpower, right? So it doesn't matter if I know you or I don't know you. If we find ourselves in the same place, and then you tell me your story, the first thing, yeah, I like, yeah, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. Let's find a way. So when I look at my superpower, the main thing that actually keeps me up at night, coaching is just, it's just a low hanging fruit. It's like, what is the best vessel I can use for this superpower? Coaching. That's it. It's just that is the vessel. Like it is hard, but I like to see people succeed. I like to see people
I bet.
going to the next level. I like people, and I think that probably comes from my personal life again, because I love to take this example. I landed to Dubai, um, let's say 12, 14 years ago, and I don't speak any of English. Like my English was zero. I don't even know. It's not even better now. It's not even better now. I'm a French, 100% French. I've come from
Yes.
Cameroon. We
So
speak French.
I understand. So you would do well in Côte d'Ivoire, where the official language is French.
That's it. That's it. So Cote
I'm
d'Ivoire, we
showing
have
off. I'm showing off my knowledge. Comment allez-vous, mon ami? Comment...
je vais bien. Je vais bien.
No,
So
je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais quoi. Sacre bleu. There's no such word as sacre bleu. That's
no,
from a cartoon,
no.
Pepe Le Pew, the skunk. You're fun.
So
Really, are you enjoying this as much as I am?
yeah, I do. I do enjoy the show. It's very. I told you I watched a couple of episodes ahead of our talk, and it was like, whoa, these guys are really having fun. Like I want to sign me in. I want to have fun. I can't wait for this.
Unfortunately, we are at the end of our 30 minutes. So two things are going to happen. First of all, I'm going to have my producer invite you back on the show. Will you come back on?
I will gladly. Thank you.
And second, I know my audience is going to want to stay in the conversation with you. They're going to want to stay in touch with you. What's the best way for my audience, the listeners and the viewers, to make sure they get more of what you got and they stay in touch with you? Can you tell us how to do that?
Or they can just go to my website, which is mpenvision.com.
Will you
Um,
spell that out because your accent,
yeah.
some people, I get
So
it, but
yeah, sure. M for mama, P for I don't know, Pascal. I'm not good at this spelling thing. Um, E for elephant, N for no, V for well, V for view, I for intention. Uh, what else? Envision. N, another N. No, no. Oh, you have O. O for
orgasm.
I didn't say that.
Well, but you see where my mind is. It's not a family show. You could say it.
Yeah, I understand. So N for no, and you have S. S for salt, that's it. .com.
Okay. A-
mpnvision.com.
And we'll make sure that my producer puts it in the show link. So stay with me for a little green room chat afterwards when we go off the air. Stay with me. Don't hang up with me. All
All
right.
right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Mbo'a for being a wonderful guest. Once again, you see, we present the best because that's what the show's about. So, thank you very much. And to the hostile alien army, to the hostile alien fleet hovering in their cloaked spacecraft just outside of Earth's atmosphere, remember, eat the Canadians first. And we'll see you on the next episode.
The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Rapid Sales Accelerator. If you're ready to skyrocket your sales by 30% or more in just 90 days, then you need to claim your free training right now. You'll learn 4 words that will compel your prospects to trust you like they were children within the first 3 to 5 minutes of any conversation across any platform and any medium. You'll learn how to give your prospects objection amnesia, to crush objections like, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need more time to think it over, or it's too expensive. If you'd like to claim your free training now, go to www.paulrossbook.com. Do it before your competition does it now. Thank you for tuning in to the Influencer's Edge, where you get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques so you can leapfrog over the pack at sales, influence, and persuasion. Remember to visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com to enjoy even more great episodes like this one. We look forward to seeing you again on the Influencers Edge Show.